hit him in his
I
head.
just hit the record.
They had the metal in the frame.
Yeah, in the frame, in the lobby, in that
Wow.
lobby of the steel mill.
Yeah,
Oh, from the explosion.
Dad used to take us over to see it.
Wow.
What was the
And
what was the name of the
Uncle
steel company?
Doc was a I want to say a musician taught by himself.
Man, he could play the piano.
And he could play anything on the piano.
Wow.
That's
Cleveland.
That's Boo Boo Daddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Doc could come over and our mama piano would turn into a different animal, man.
Is there it went from gospel to
Oh
blues.
man, that boy
anything you want, anything you want.
He can boogie boogie, and Boogie T didn't have nothing on that boy.
Wow.
So that was Boogie D's daddy?
No, that was
Boogie D.
His uncle.
Doc was Boogie D.
Doc was his uncle.
Oh, his
Doc
uncle.
was Lula's son.
Oh, okay.
Lula
Boogie D was Lula's son.
Lula was the oldest girl from my daddy, PJ, Doc, and Frank.
Right.
I remember her.
And Lula.
Yeah. Ain't Lula.
I remember. Oh.
And Maurice, she had the prettiest black skin you ever want to see.
Is that right?
I'm gonna tell you, that girl's skin was like black pearl, man.
Wow.
And she was a beautiful lady, man.
Wow.
But Papa John, I think he had the best black skin.
Yeah.
So I've never seen pictures of Papa John, Doc. I think I've seen pictures of Lula, and but yeah, I've never. There's a lot of pictures I haven't seen.
But you did see a picture of Lula?
I think I did see Lula.
And
she was up in age and I saw a picture, I think.
Cleveland's oldest son is still performing.
Wow.
Say his name for me, Joe.
What's his name? Lyle?
Boo Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I got him on Facebook. I'm on Facebook with him.
Yes, I am too.
He was Cleveland. His name was Cleveland also.
Cleveland Jr.
Yeah.
Then Dolores, the boy is a minister.
One of them is a preacher and the other singing in a nightclub.
Right. And the daughter, she died, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, his name Cleveland Smith. His name Cleveland Smith.
Cleveland, yeah, Cleveland and Cleveland.
His initials are the same as mine.
Cleveland
M. Smith. Yeah, Maurice, Google, Facebook, Cleveland Smith in Birmingham. He'll come up.
Okay.
He was one of my friends.
Delos Smith.
Yeah, I remember one time we was in Birmingham and we was all out sitting out at the restaurant. And at the same time we were there, Cleveland and his wife was sitting over there, and then she said, "Boo Boo, ain't them your people over there?"
Yeah.
And we turned around and looked, and all us starts getting up and saying hi to each other like we was having a family reunion right there in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Love was down there. I was there. I think Paula was there too.
I was there.
And all us end up in the restaurant at the same time.
Yeah.
But that was Cleveland.
His name is Cleveland Smith.
Yeah.
You
got
is he up in
you got Delos, I don't know how he said Delost Smith. And if you look at him, you see and he's a minister and he's on Facebook.
What is it? Delos?
Mm-hmm.
And Cleveland Smith. Both of them, they brothers.
Delos. Who is Delos?
Delost.
Okay, I found him. Now, who is he?
That is Uncle Cleveland's grandson or son? Grandson.
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 You have a
We used,
lot of musicians in our family.
we used to go
Yeah.
visit them. We used to go visit them on Sunday evening after we got out of church in Inslee.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
baby. I'm on a Zoom call with the family
Yeah.
right now.
They daddy was
This
a
is my
music teacher
sister,
in
brother.
high school.
This is fine.
I remember that. I remember
I'll
their dad
call you
being
when
a
I get
music
off.
teacher.
Uh-huh.
When I was in the band, yeah, he was
No,
a
I
teacher.
baby, I'm in the house, so I called you and you was asleep. Caleb didn't tell you.
I think we found Cleveland Smith.
Y'all did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Got long hair.
he a bright
That's him.
skinned fella.
Yeah,
That's him.
light-skinned guy. About
Oh yeah, I see
he
it too
lighter than
right
me,
here.
about Gwen
I don't know.
complexion.
Well, y'all ain't gonna be able to see it on here, but
I know
found
him.
him on there.
Yeah,
That's
I contacted
that,
him.
that,
I'm
that,
in
that's
touch with him on Facebook.
Yeah,
now
y'all ain't gonna be able to
That's
see it,
him.
but I found him on there.
now he's
That's
come to
Boo Junior.
Detroit
That's Boo
and
I
Junior.
found the lost too.
he's to come to Detroit and he's to play with Lattimore.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
group
and
Lattimore.
they used to go down to Henry's Lounge, and me and PJ used to go down there and see him.
Oh, the lost.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I found the lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lost.
What are
Now
y'all
that's
looking
the
through?
minister.
What are y'all looking in? Y'all got a book of
The
Facebook.
lost on
Facebook.
Oh, you looking
Facebook.
on
The
Facebook.
lost is
Okay.
the minister.
I thought y'all had a book or something. I was like, what
No.
is he?
Oh, you gonna read the book?
So
Now,
who's
where does the lost
somebody
live?
was on the police department too,
The
Gwen? Who was
lost
on?
Yeah, we
lives
found
in
the
Birmingham
lost.
too.
Where
Yeah, he
does
lives in
where does the lost live?
He lives in Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So, related question. So, along, Coleman Mason and his masonry was like, where did the history of being men of God come from? Right. So what do we know about like where his preaching or where he like went, like was John Smith, was he a man of God? Like, did he put it in Coleman Smith to go to the Bible college? Like, what's the history like? I clearly see that there is a lineage of people seeking God, but like what do we know about where that came from?
I
How
think
late?
it came from Chasey.
Oh,
Well, Chase
Interesting.
was a gospel singer.
wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He traveled around singing gospel.
Okay.
Who's Chase?
Now Chasey, that was Daddy's mother, right? That
Right.
Yeah.
That was CM's mom.
was right.
Mm-hmm.
And she was part of the Sellers.
Yeah. Her family name was Sellers.
Yeah.
Sellers.
Yeah.
Sellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct, Sarah.
And her daddy name was Willie Sellers.
Oh.
What was
Really?
it, Willie? What?
I have a picture of him.
You got a picture of Willie Sellers?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Phyllis, what was her daddy name? What was Chase's daddy name? Oh, I left the papers in Maui.
I have the obituaries at my house.
Ooh, see, okay, y'all are reminding me that we need to do this when everybody has their stash and everybody's at their house. I can't be doing this when y'all all on
I made
vacation.
it a habit to keep as many obituaries of family members and associates as I could. So
Okay.
so my kids and my kids' kids will not marry their relatives.
So her
That's
children
my
and her
purpose
children
for
Harold almost married a relative. Didn't you almost marry a relative, was it?
who?
Harold, back
Mhm.
in the day.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was crazy about his cousin.
She telling your business, huh?
That's
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
Tell
Now,
him.
who was that I was crazy about, Gwen?
It's one of those New Yorkers.
Yeah, you was in New York.
Oh, you talking about Angela?
Yeah.
What's her name, Angela? I
Angela.
didn't know what her
No,
name was, but they had
no.
to let you know it was a no-no.
What was her last name?
No, we were just close. We were just close.
Angela Terry.
No, you was in
Angela
love.
Terry?
Yeah.
Terry.
Lord.
See.
That's Aunt Frankie's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
about
We were
this
just
Willie
tight.
Sellers.
That's all. We were just tight.
No, you was in love.
Ain't nothing wrong with being in love with your cousin. You just can't marry.
You was gonna marry.
Man.
That's all right. That's why you have.
Well, if she was pretty like Frankie, then we understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was beautiful.
Yeah.
She
I
was
can
beautiful.
imagine.
And me and Jocelyn was always in love with each other.
Yeah. They was just a tight knit bunch. That's all.
Yeah, English.
That's the
Jocelyn
English side of the
always
family.
tight. And she married.
Oh, there goes
When
Jay.
she married,
There goes Jay. Y'all
when she
see
married
Jay on
Kenneth,
there?
his middle
No,
name was
I
Sarah.
don't see Jay.
Jay,
He's
Jay
coming. He's
get
coming.
there,
He's
get on
coming.
there.
What's
Oh,
up?
he in the dark.
Hey, what's
yeah,
up, Jay?
we on the way to the airport.
Where?
Oh, y'all on the way to the
Hey.
airport?
Yeah.
Y'all going to Pennsylvania?
They had
Yeah,
to leave because
yeah,
the troops were staying.
Oh,
What's
he's
up,
going up
Punk?
to
Happy
Maggie's
belated
smoke.
birthday.
That's Jay, y'all.
Yeah, what's up, Jay?
Him and Maggie.
Hey,
Mhm.
Maggie.
Hey, Maggie.
Hey.
They're not on the screen.
Yes,
Yes,
they
they
are.
are.
Look
You
on
got
the
it.
right hand.
What's up, Auntie?
Oh, I see my picture's covering theirs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine
Oh,
was
you gotta
coming
swipe.
to
Swipe to the left or swipe to the right, Auntie.
Okay. Then I won't see Frank.
No, you go to gallery. It should go to
Well, your
gallery.
screen's only so big, Mama. You got to choose sometimes. You got to choose.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it this way.
Okay.
I see somebody wearing pink.
Yeah, I think that's Maggie.
Frank?
Jay and Maggie
It's
in
more
the
of
yellow.
it's more of a royal purple, I think. But yeah,
Oh. What's dark?
Purple hoodie.
I'm sharing a little space.
Hey, Maggie. I see you.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
glad y'all was able to get on.
I hope y'all
Jay
being
and
safe over
Maggie.
there. Y'all driving?
Yeah, we just came down off the mountain and hit the freeway now, so we had service.
Okay. All right. Wonderful.
Well,
So we were just sitting here asking. I gathered all of these wizened folks here. I'm not gonna say how much collective wisdom is on the Zoom call, but there's a we got about 1,000 years coming. We're pushing on here. So I was asking a few questions about the family, and I'm interested in this. So I was asking about where our history of being men and people of God came from, and like how far back that traces. And what I heard was that Coleman Smith really got his faith from Chasey, but there was like a question mark there. Knowing Chasey was a gospel singer, and that Chasey's daddy was a man by the name of Sellers, Willie Sellers.
I want to check that real quick because Willie might have
See,
been a
that's why I
brother.
got all y'all together. See, I got to verify. We got to get a consensus here. So Auntie Gwen says she's got some obituaries. Are you saying you have Willie Sellers' obituary?
No, I know I have Chase's and I have somebody else in the family that from that period. So I have to go check my book.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Chasey's obituary because
Yeah.
I saw her one time. I was about 5 years old. I was just. She was all leathery
Yeah,
and slick and
baby.
oily
You
and
all
black.
should
I was
have
like,
a
ooh.
copy of
I do
Chasey.
have a copy of Chasey.
Okay.
Well,
I'll try to collect everything for you guys. Our next meeting is in what, December?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Brother Khalid.
Well,
I'll try to have whatever I have.
Okay,
and I'll get what I got too.
I got a bunch of pretty cousins I could send over there to help you out. So,
what is Cameron's last name? Harold.
My grandson.
Yes.
Love.
Okay, right. You're familiar with him, aren't you, Carly? I'm just thinking of all the musicians.
That's Darren's son.
Cameron, Darren's boy.
Yeah.
Now, I was just thinking about all the musicians that we have in
Cameron
our.
is a wonderful.
Oh yeah, Cameron can sing.
Yeah, he can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he sang at my church, I think, a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Khalid.
Yes, sir.
I think I was wrong when I said Chasey's father was Willie.
Okay.
Her father was Jesse, and they had a Jesse Jr. and a Willie
right.
and a Willie.
Right.
Okay, the father's name is Jesse. Jesse Sellers.
Yeah, Jesse Sellers.
And who? There's still a Willie. Is he Chasey's brother?
Yeah. That's the oldest brother. Yeah, that's her oldest brother.
Yeah, are you putting together a tree, Khalid? You putting together?
Well, that's my mama job, so she's the tree people. But I'm trying to let's see, I'm trying to put some description, some leaves on the tree. Like I need to know where these things come from, so that when we start tracing back our lineage, and when we say that the Lord done brought us from a mighty long way, we actually know the way the Lord done brought us from.
Yeah.
And get to say, He didn't bring us this far for no reason. So we need to be able to say, this is how far we have been brought.
Well, you know that Kenneth is on 23 and Me.
Yeah.
I got some words about the 23 and Me. So I won't give you my decade-long history with them. But the truth of the matter is that 23 and Me right now is for sale, and the drama is that all that guarantee that they gave you about what they were going to do with your genetic information is now null and void, because whoever buys that company does not have to honor anything about it, and they are purchasing and bidding on that asset. So that is
that's horrible.
A very different story.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, that is bad.
Yes.
That's right.
That is. It's ironic, Khalid, that you brought this up. Like I mentioned before, I was doing a series on strengthening the family, and one of the initiatives I gave to families for Thanksgiving was 4 things. I wanted them to, of course, have family prayer. I wanted them to have a family motto or mantra for their family. Just a short affirmation about what their family stands for, and the love that they have for one another. Then I wanted them to review their family tree, and then talk about family business. So I wanted, those were the 4 things that I gave them. And it's ironic we sitting here talking about genealogy and lineage, because I was letting them know that the devil has done a mischievous job of dismantling families and breaking lineage and legacy. Legacy,
right?
That word legacy is a word from the Greek, means to have a messenger or to have a representative carry a message for you. And you want to leave a legacy. Your family wants to stand for something, and you want to leave that legacy for yourself and also for the generations to come. And so it's ironic we having this conversation.
Oh, it's not ironic. Like, I told Uncle Harold and Uncle Frank earlier that, God was like, I need you to get these people together. And I was like, why, God? And he was like, I need you to get these people together. Yeah. So I am working on my obedience, and I do not have an agenda a plan, and people be looking at me like, "What are we supposed to do, Khalid?" And I was like, "I don't know. No, Holy Spirit said, get everybody together. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing what I'm told." Like, so
God trying to tell you something.
hey, like, look,
It's a beautiful thing.
Y'all priest to my father, but I'm learning, when they said something about hard heads and soft behinds, and so God can shake you up, and I don't need no near death experience to God wake me up and be like, look, I said, get them together.
Hey, hey, Paula.
Yeah.
Can you tell Khalid Chase's song? What was Chase's song, Paula?
Children, I got
heaven on my
mind,
and it keeps me singing
all the time.
As I
walk
this
narrow way. You can
always hear me say, I got
heaven on my mind.
Send me the words.
That's Chasey
song now, baby.
Oh yeah, I got heaven on my mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Send me those
She
words.
used to sing that to you.
Yes, ma'am. We got it in her.
You got that on a 45, man?
We got that in her obituary. We'll send it.
Yeah, she
That's
used
awesome.
to walk the floor with that one.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah.
When Daddy get this,
she had a little slow
when
motion walk when she do it, and she
get the hoop
swung
and
them
Grandma
on.
get up and start walking.
Say that again, Frank.
When Daddy got the hoop and Grandma get up and start walking.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and praying in the spirit.
Wow.
That's your legacy.
Hey, and you know what she would say? She said, I got gold coming all out of my side.
Yeah.
She said, you better get you a bucket and catch some of this, because I got it coming out. It's coming all out of me.
Oh, I love her. I love her.
Ralph said, I'm getting mine.
Oh, where's Ralph when you need him? Where's Ralph when you need him?
Yeah, she was giving out gold, man. She said, just pouring right out of me. Just get you a bucket and catch some of it.
Now what Ralph would do?
Agitator.
Ralph would emulate her.
Oh yeah.
He could do it to the T.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We called him Richard Pryor II.
Wow. Wow. Oh, so Ralph would get the clown in her.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, he gonna make sure he got him some of that gold.
I know it, right. Ralph was gonna get his. He said, y'all think, y'all can think she crazy if you want. I'm getting me some.
So Ralph got disciplined the most. Coleman Mason disciplined him the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I give y'all something else we found out. We found out that JC's father used to have epilepsy.
Oh.
JC had epilepsy too.
And I had epilepsy.
Oh, Paula had fake epilepsy.
Paulette was faking.
But he can't get a whooping.
Yeah.
When
why he was faking epilepsy.
When Paula thought Mama was finna tear that behind up,
Oh,
that girl would throw herself down and have the worst fit you ever seen anybody have in their life.
And her eyes would roll back in her head.
What Mama used to do?
Oh, man. Say, get up from there, fool. You slow.
And she didn't want me to chew my tongue up. Just get a spoon so I can get this tongue. So she won't chew her tongue up. I wasn't gonna chew my tongue up. I wasn't gonna chew my tongue up. I knew how to act.
But the thing about it, they put him in a sane asylum. They put him in a mental institute because he was having epilepsy.
Oh,
this is Jesse or Willie? This
was Jesse.
Yeah. So Jesse's the brother of Chasey, right? Not Willie, the father of Chasey.
Jesse is the father. Willie was the brother.
Okay, Jesse is the father. Willie's the brother.
How many siblings did Chasey have?
Oh, she had quite a few. Cause I had it on a sheet. Phyllis printed me out a sheet. All Chasey's siblings and her mom and dad.
Wow. We need to get that to Khalid then.
Yeah. So, all right, Mama, I'm gonna gather all this stuff. We're gonna work on this together because you gotta show me how to say.
You got one cousin that was killed right in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Oh, in the earthen dam.
Yeah, that was
Freedom Riders.
James Chaney.
Freedom Riders.
Oh, he was one of the three.
James Chaney,
James Chaney.
And the Jewish lady was with him.
Right.
No, the three boys.
Three boys that
Goodman,
was killed.
Chaney, and Swerner.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember what you told me, Frank, when you went to the museum.
When I went to Mississippi,
Yeah. You felt Chaney. Well, our fellow was who? Chaney?
Yeah.
You say you felt his presence, huh, Frank?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was James. James Chaney.
James Chaney, yeah.
I didn't know. I just happened to be at the museum and walk right into that room. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. So I knew that story, but I didn't know. So Jesse was in an asylum because he had.
They and also Chasey was Daddy when
in
got
asylum.
I remember when Dad picked her up
out of a mental institution because when they had epilepsy and stuff like that, they didn't know how to treat it, so they would just write you off as being insane,
especially black folk.
Right.
But I really want to talk about mental illness and the history and like how far roots of that goes back. So like, are you clear or do you know like?
We all got a touch of mental illness.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all a little bit sideways, but we give us flavor, you can't just be all straight all the time, but like you can't be too salty now. Then you become unpalatable. But so do you know whether it was epilepsy and they put him in a mental asylum or did he have some sort of mental illness and he was in there?
They wrote right on his thing that he was insane.
Oh man.
But he had epilepsies. They got a chart there that says how many episodes he had. He had maybe like 30 episodes of where he had epilepsy.
Okay.
And they couldn't control that stuff. They used to give you all the shark treatments and all that stuff.
I think what Khalid trying to get to is was it the epilepsy or was he verifiably mentally ill from your knowledge?
Well, they didn't know.
What's on the paper.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm just asking you like what we can verify and what we know. Like we was piecing all this stuff together. I've heard the individual stories and I need everybody fact checking everybody. And if there's a piece of paper that you got that has that, like I would love to see that.
Yeah, we found that on the Health Institute. They was talking about how many episodes he had and all of that. But like I said, during that time, they didn't know how to treat that. So if you was a person that had that and did stimulate that behavior in public, they would put you in an insane asylum.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what it was back in the day. It was nothing was ever declared as epilepsy.
Right.
So when you had that in that day, people thought you were crazy because you were literally seizing in public or wherever you were. So instead of them saying that you had a disease,
that's right, you had demons.
Right. Yeah. And so they would declare you insane at that time because they didn't know. They didn't have the technology. They didn't have it. So they did declare most of our people who had anything that was unlike them insane, and they will put them away.
Right.
So that's why that is on his birth certificate or on his death certificate, because they didn't know. They just didn't know. But in actuality, if you go back and if it's recorded that he had 30 of these episodes, it wasn't a fit. It was he wasn't medicated to help him control the overactivity of his brain. But we know that now. So he really wasn't insane. So it wasn't a mental health thing. More or less, it was just a disease that he had, a disconnect of the brain for lack of a better word. So he wasn't insane.
And the only thing they knew to treat it was like give you shock treatments and
lobotomy.
Yeah, and that didn't do nothing to make it worse.
Make it worse.
That made you crazy for real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they proved the diagnosis.
Go ahead, Johnny.
We survived.
I can moderate these folks.
We survived. You got to understand, we survived through all of that.
Glory.
Hold on a second. Let me moderate. I see Ace raising his hand. You got something to say, Ace?
Oh no, I said that's how they prove their diagnosis after they make you worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they prove their diagnosis by giving you the disease. So yeah, I am very clear that there is disease, there is mental illness a disease of the mind, and there are demons. And you may have all three. You may have some combination, or you may have an element, a touch of one that is misdiagnosed as another. So add that racism and malpractice on top of that, and we have a very interesting puzzle to be able to piece together. But it's only by us talking through our history and saying when did this happen before, might we understand what's happening with us right now.
Glory.
But my dad would give grandma Lobe. He had a herb that he called Lobe. And he used to mix that stuff up, and he would give it to her, and it would take her right out of that seizure, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I got some too. It took me right on out.
Yeah, I got
he gave you some.
I got too.
Oh, hold on now.
But let me tell you something. And Daddy medicated her. Daddy medicated her with them herbs for so many years.
Who's her? Who's her? Is that Chasey?
Chasey, right. And when she came to Detroit to live, she never had episodes like she used to have.
That's right.
She never had those seizures where she used to after my dad died. She never had those seizures anymore like she used to have. And I know she lived to be almost 104.
Wow.
And she had, when she was like 100 and something, and she had a gallbladder surgery. And that was the first surgery she ever had in her life. She said, I don't live too long for them to start cutting on me and taking stuff out of my body. And she just got she said, I'm not going to eat no more. I ain't got no reason to be here no more.
Aww.
And Paula Howell, we took a picture with her before she died.
Yeah, we got a picture. I'll bring all that out of the box.
Now,
Did he really stop eating?
What I do have, family, I have Daddy's medical book. I have the book with all of his writings, his list of herbs, the disease or ailment that they are supposed to heal. I have gotten with Joseph because Joseph has the printing company. And he and I, at first I was going to rewrite and try to type, but this is in actually Daddy's handwriting and in Mama's handwriting. And I am going to simply have pictures made, photocopies made of the book itself. And each child would be given a copy of this book. And that's something Joe and I have just talked about.
I would
now,
love
do
to see
you have
that.
one too, Frank?
Huh?
Frank, do you have a book?
No.
Okay, well, I have, and like I said, this call came through and I'm not at home, so I can share it with you. But I have a book, and it is actually his handwriting and most of his things started out like to cure asthma, and then have all the herbs that down for to take the cure and how much of each you took, and for the cure. So this is something I wanted to let the family know.
Auntie, we need that. We need that. So thank you. And we would love to be able to digitally preserve all of that in the exact handwriting and everything. And
I don't know if it's just
sure
actually the book cover front and back.
When you were breaking up real bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who could hear me?
I hear you great.
Oh, you started breaking up real bad, Gwen. I don't know.
I don't have
that's
anything
you.
on. I don't have anything on. I'm just sitting in the room quietly.
We can hear you, Auntie.
I just want to give a witness to something. I had a friend, me and him went to school together. His name was Henry Jackson. I can remember when we were about in the 7th or 8th grade, before 7th or 8th grade, somewhere around there. He had sickle cell real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors had gave him up and said that they weren't going to be able to help him no more. And my daddy doctor gave him herbs to help his sickle cell. They had gave him up to live back then. We weren't even teenagers yet. And that boy lived to be 50-some years old.
Wow.
Right.
And
his daddy was the assistant pastor.
Deacon Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry was my classmate.
And Leon. I remember Henry and Leon.
Yeah.
And granddad nursed him back to health, huh?
Yeah.
And Wilbert, the older boy, was my classmate.
Right.
Yeah.
So where did Daddy learn about herbs and all that kind of stuff?
He went to Meharry.
Oh.
And he went off of the University of Chicago.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I know that.
Yeah.
Wow. So Meharry Medical School.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he won that car and he was driving jitney. So he had to have that car to get around and get to where he was going.
Oh, he won the car?
Yeah.
That was a bad car too. I got a picture somewhere.
He won that car in the sweet state.
You kidding?
Yeah.
What model and what year? What model was that?
Love, what year that car was?
A 38 Ford.
The 38 Ford?
Yeah.
We got a picture of him standing by. With that
I've seen that picture. Yeah, he was sharp too, man. He stayed clean.
I want to ask him how he kept those white shoes on a dirt road.
Yeah.
So then I stay so clean on a dirt road.
So,
can't touch that.
Daddy, this is important.
You can't touch
that. My dad used to dress up every day.
Yeah, you can't touch that.
Hey, my dad, you rarely saw him in blue jeans or anything like that. He dressed up every day.
You like MC Hammer. You can't touch that. Can't touch that.
Me and Johnny Man picked up the same habit.
Yeah.
Do you know your daddy never wore store-bought clothes?
Is that right?
All his clothes were designer clothes.
Yeah.
He go and get them made.
And the tailor used to come to the house and measure Dad up and pin his suits up and come back with them stitched together.
Wow.
Well, his cousin owned the company.
Yeah.
Oh, his cousin owned the suit company?
Yeah, the company. They used to make them out of Ohio.
Wow. Are they still around?
No, we lost contact with them because
I never seen him with no work clothes on. I always had suit. Remember, I always said that.
If he was outside nailing something, he rolled up his white shirt or silk shirt, whatever, and go to nailing.
That's right. He washed his car in his white shirt, rolled up sleeve, his suspenders, and his pants.
Wow.
And John,
he would only change his shoes.
John.
He put his work shoes on.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, you laughing, baby, but I took my first driving test in a 62 Fleetwood Brougham.
Wow. That's
The
a big
car was
car.
long as a bus. I was 16 years old, and I took my first driver's lesson in a test in that car. And Daddy would park 2 garbage cans in front of the delicatessen. You know, we owned the restaurant.
Right.
We would put, and then you had to learn how to parallel park in between them 2 garbage cans.
Wow. In a
And I could put,
62 Cadillac.
and the bad part about it, the last car, before my last car, my husband bought me a 1977 Fleetwood Brougham white.
Wow.
And I could put that thing in a parking space on a dime.
Wow.
I mean, and I was just, the people were like, "How you park that big car?" I said, "Easy." My daddy taught me how to park one.
Yeah. What color was Daddy's car?
Daddy's
black.
car, all the daddy's cars were black.
Okay.
It was black.
Well,
That
we had a white one.
one,
We had a white one.
that green one. What
Yeah,
was
we
that?
had a green one.
Green.
Yeah, he painted it
The
black.
green was a 50-something,
He
though.
painted it black. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
56 Cadillac.
But you know what?
Yeah.
My daddy would say, he would get out there and he said, "I want you girls to know how to do everything so you won't marry nobody because you gotta marry. You gonna learn everything. We be up on top of the roof and everything."
We learned how to change the oil. We learned how to put the gas in the carburetor. You know, don't do that now. To
That's
get
right.
the car started up and show, I learned everything but how to drive a stick. I tore Harold's stick up. I
Yeah,
told front
I
porch up trying to
can't
drive
drive a
Harold's
stick.
car.
I can
You
drive
hit the
everything
front porch.
else.
Yeah, I hit the front porch in Harold's car.
Oh.
That 54 Ford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I tried to put it in gear and just went right into the front porch.
It was,
But I just,
it was a stick shift. But
I'm sharing that, guys, because you know we thought we was poor, dirt poor,
And we
and my daddy had finesse enough to manipulate anything, even with the police or popo or whatever you guys calling them now. We didn't have no trouble in our neighborhood with my father
Because they
because
was scared of your mama.
he knew he knew he knew how to manipulate things for us to
He
get
had
there.
influence. He had influence in the community.
He did.
yeah,
He did.
he
And-
was always a community activist.
Good.
But
and
you know, my father
I
also.
remember Daddy.
But I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. My father did not get rich off of no church. They did not pay my daddy.
Wow.
So he would, you know, he wouldn't even let me go to the business meetings because he said I had too much mouth. So he would not. He didn't let me go to the business meetings
They would
because
give him a couple of
wanted to
chickens.
know. They wanted to know how did we survive.
Remember that?
That's what they want. That's what they would want to know. And they would, you know, they would even agitate the girls and say, "Oh, you guys must have some boyfriends or something that's giving you guys money or something." So y'all got a pretty dress on. I said, "Yeah." And Gwen, they used to try to get me in trouble because I was trying, because my
God,
mouth was too big.
you better not tell that tale. You better
I used to tell them, I said, "Yeah, your man bought this for me."
That girl used to keep me in so much trouble until I was scared to go anywhere with her. We stayed into it.
Well,
Mama
I'm gonna tell you something. My daddy gave me my first electrical lesson and taught me about electricity.
Wow.
Mm.
And I was just a young guy, you know, and you know, back in them days they had houses, you know, you had a couple of wires running down the center of the house in the attic, and it fed off into each room. And you had like a little wire, 2 wires come down inside the room. You had a light bulb in there with a little thing thing to turn the light
You
bulb
talking about
on.
that day he stuck his finger? You talking about when he stuck his finger in their hair?
Yeah, he taught me how to take and change the fixture where the light was. You know, you didn't have no way to turn the power off unless you turn the, you know, you would kill the whole house if you turn the power off, or you went and screwed one of the
So he
fill-
taught you how to change it while I was live?
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
And he told me, you know, you just
That
don't
sound
let
like
these
Jay.
you don't let these two wires touch each other, and you don't touch them both at the same time. You know, and keep yourself separated, you know, from touching both of them at the same time.
Now, did his dad teach him all of that?
I don't think so.
I don't know, because they didn't have power in the houses like when they first put the power in. That's all they gave. They had like tube and
what
knob.
line of work was his dad in?
He worked in the mine too.
He worked in the mine. Okay.
Yeah. Now I don't know if Daddy did any electrical work in the mine and stuff too, because they had to run power through the mine too.
Right.
You know? But he gave me my first lesson, and that's how I learned how to watch people do things, and then anything they could do, I figured I could do myself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So my biggest achievement when I was a teenager, we had an old TV, the old black and white TV with a screen about this big around, you know, and Dad had the guy come out and fix it a couple of times, and it was a Joe Louis fight coming on, and I said, I'm gonna fix that TV, because Dad said, no, I ain't putting no money. I can't pay nobody to fix that TV. I'm just gonna get rid of that thing. Man, I went behind the TV, took all the little tubes out, wrote down where they came from, made me a little diagram where they were, went down and had the tubes tested down at the feed store. Test the tubes and all that, and came back and fixed it. My daddy was able to watch the Joe Louis fight, man. He just had a fit, man.
Yeah.
What'd he tell you?
Boy.
Yeah,
boy. You go, Roro, you go. and he watched the Joe Louis fight. But you know, and I remember to this day, it was a rectifier tube. You know how they used to take and turn AC to DC. It was a rectifier tube. They used to use diodes and stuff. I learned all that stuff after I got older and went to school. But I remember exactly the things that I did to fix that TV.
Wow.
You know? And I only got working in my experience working on TV, I only got shot one time real bad. Where it shot me so bad that if my elbow was hurting for days, it hit me so hard. But I learned how to work on electronics.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't went to Detroit, I would have went to Huntsville to go to that Howard Electronics School, where all the top 10% people that graduate go to work in go work for NASA.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I came to Detroit because I got in some trouble, and Auntie was there visiting, so I had to catch the first thing smoking.
Oh, I want to hear that story, but
Harold, tell them about you and Ralph and Frank and taking the engineering test.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I went down to Detroit Engineering Institute and went to school down there. And when I first started going into trades, and I went down there. After I went, Ralph went, and man, Frank came down there and outscored both of us. You know, because they had a test on how much knowledge you know and everything. Frank outscored me and Ralph.
They was looking for Frank, huh?
Frank outscored us. Frank didn't even go to the school. He never did go to the school, but he went down there and took the test, the entrance test, and I think he outscored me and Ralph.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And when it came for y'all to get in, they were looking for Frank.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to work. And I went to work for General Electric after I left General Motors. I went to General Electric and worked. and Ralph went down there and became a manager over
Harper Hospital.
Harper Hospital.
I work there now. Some people still remember Ralph.
Ralph went down there after he graduated. He went down there.
Yeah, Ralph was the engineer. He ran the heating and cooling.
Yeah. He
Air
ran the whole
conditioning.
facilities for all that. We took all that classes down at Detroit Engineering Institute.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Johnny, they used to have some crazy times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I still remember Daddy pistol whooping Fred Davis. Hell, you remember that?
Yeah.
He must have did something for.
Charlie looking like.
I'm sorry, he pistol whipped who?
My daddy was nobody you wanted to play with.
Fred got mad at Daddy. He went outside and got a big brick and came in the store and threw it at him. And Daddy chased him down, and Daddy was hitting him upside the head with the gun. Daddy turned the gun around and hit him upside the head with the gun, and the gun went off. It was automatic. And the gun went off and shot him through the arm.
Oh.
Wait.
Daddy said, shit, I shot myself. You handle him, Harold. I got it. And I stumped the boy all in the face. And
he came home, put some liniment on it.
Yeah, the bullet went through the fat of through his arm. And he didn't hit nothing, didn't break no bone or chip no bone or anything.
You say he put liniment on it, Frank?
Yeah, he put some liniment on it and put some of that old what's that stuff he put in the womb? Not Lobe, but those
like
bitter
a filler,
herbs, bitter herbs. He put that in the wound and wrapped it up.
The one
but then
probably Golden Seal.
I finished whooping on Fred after Daddy got done with him.
Yes.
And
he said, "Don't kill me, Ralph, don't kill me."
Fred caught me and put that knife around my neck, and Slick Willie started crying and saying, please, Fred, don't kill him because I love his sister.
Don't kill him because I love his sister.
Who was he in love with? Who was he in love with?
Slick Willie saved my life because that boy had started blood coming around my neck. I had blood started seeping out where he had that case around my neck. And Slick Willie begged him, don't kill him, Fred.
Hey, who was he in love with?
He was in love with Gwen.
He's in love with Gwen. Okay.
But guess what though? He loved me enough that I got in the church every Sunday and I got him baptized and everything.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
He went to church, joined church, got baptized.
Hey, Harold, did you have to go back and tighten my man up after that?
No, he went to prison for murder. They killed Mr. Fuller.
He ended up killing a guy down there, and I'm trying to think of the guy named Frank. He ended up killing a guy.
Oh
no, killed Mr. Fuller. You know the man that killed the old washing machine, the old white man.
Yeah. And
that guy was a bad apple, huh?
Oh man, but I messed him up though, you know. I ain't had no mercy on him because he had made Dad shoot himself, right? So I whooped him, man, and Ralph had gave me a pair of Stacey Adams shoes with the cubic heel on them. And I just smacked it, I stumped his face and everything in it, you know. But he snuck up behind me and caught me with the knife, you know. After that.
Wow.
And then so that was his name was Fred Davis.
Yeah.
Then I got into it with Tommy Davis, Piney. I had the whole Davis family wanted to kill me.
Right.
I had the whole family.
You had to keep that strap with you.
Huh?
You had to keep that.
Only reason me and Tommy became friends again because Tommy used to cut everybody's hair, and then I used to cut hair, and we ain't had nobody to cut our hair. So cause and then Tommy made we laid down our arms and started cutting each other hair.
Oh wow!
And that's how we made peace with one another.
That ended the feud, huh?
Cause I had got into it with the sister, I got into it with Fred, I got into it with Tommy. All of them was after me, you know.
Wow.
And then being tight, we got tight again, you know.
Yeah.
And Tommy tried to sneak up behind me, and I had Daddy 45, and I pulled the 45 on Tony. I said, Tommy, you wanted to die now?
How he looking?
Hey, cause I'm gonna send you to hell or wherever you want to go, buddy. Cause I'm gonna kill you if you try to cut me, you know. And he gave up. He just hold his hand up like that. Said, I can't do nothing. And that old 45, man, when you shoot it, you know, it's smoke. You can't even, you got to kind of wean yourself out of the smoke to see after you shoot.
I don't know what kind of bullets those were. You say smoke.
That's funny. It was a 6-shooter, Smith & Wesson.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You didn't expect to hear all this about this family, did you?
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Here,
It's
I
okay.
carried
Like, you know.
I carried that pistol, the gun. I carried that gun to school for a month after getting into it with that family. And every day, man, I had to watch myself trying to get home. I was going to Parker School then. And I had to watch myself just trying to make it home from school every day. So I kept that pistol in my gym bag.
Hey, I remember that old gun Nene had made.
That one that shot Crooked. The one that shot Crooked.
Yeah, shoot around the tree.
Yeah, he tried to shoot a guy down in Jones Valley. We was trying to Oh.
So the barrel was curved.
Yeah, the barrel was curved.
He took a blank. Nene took a blank pistol and made it
and changed the barrel on it, and the barrel didn't come out crooked. Came out crooked.
Oh man!
I got caught up on the.
But I could get him to hold it on somebody. They ain't had no sense enough to know it. But I'll whoop the guy butt while John hold the gun on him.
And I took that gun up to the Cooper Green and got caught with it.
Yeah.
And Mr. High whooped me to death that next day.
Yeah. That's terrible. We want
Maggie, you see what you're getting into, don't
we can hold our own. We can hold our own when it came to.
And y'all made it to the airport, Jay?
We at the parking lot now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because you remember I had cut that boy. I had cut that boy, and I took that gun up to Powley because they didn't want us up in Powley Hill. And I had cut that boy, Gary Gray. I had cut him.
Yeah.
I was walking that girl home, Rosemary, and he didn't like that.
Yeah.
Man, y'all sound like Detroit down there, man. Y'all sound like y'all was in the deep.
If you had a girlfriend, you had to carry her books. And she lived in Powley Hill. We lived in Powley, so I had to carry her books up in Powley Hill.
And if somebody caught you outside of your neighborhood, unless you had a real reputation, and see, Ralph had a reputation, so we can almost go anywhere we wanted to because Ralph had a terrible reputation.
And they knew the Smith boys. They knew the Smith boys gonna cut you.
Yeah, you know.
So I was in the 6th grade when Donald slipped me a razor and I cut that boy.
Yeah. And I stabbed the boy in the head, and Dad had to pay to stitch
Hang
his
in
head
there,
up.
Colleen. I tried to shield you, baby.
Okay, so before we go a whole lot deeper, like this is actually wonderful. Like I'm grateful for all of y'all. I'm grateful that we alive. I'm grateful that I don't have to do the things that other generations had to do to survive. And speaking of which, we have Coleman's granddaughter, Miss Kalia Doreen. She came to join us because she is representing the folks who need all this wisdom. and we're gonna invite some more of them on to hear some of these stories, to get some more of this information, ultimately to ask some of the questions that they've got, so that the things that they're dealing with and the wisdom that y'all have brought can be a gift to them in the present. But she has a baby to put to bed, and so she just popped on here to say hello, and she didn't want the baby to hear all of the really versions.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, he's heard some of it. I don't know. You might have
Hey,
messed him up
darling.
already.
Yeah, we don't want
My
to. We
baby's
don't want to do that.
nightmares.
I'm so sorry. We discussing that kind of thing.
No,
If
I'm kidding. He's
if you
playing around. He's
realize,
not paying anybody any mind. But I'm gonna let him say hello, and then we're gonna drop off. Say hi. He's a dinosaur right now.
Hey.
hey Cairo, hey Cairo.
All right. So I'm
Okay.
gonna take T-Rex and put him to bed. But I just
Oh,
wanted to
Okay.
say hi
T-Rex.
and
Yeah.
Love
bye.
you, baby.
Oh,
We'll
all
talk.
right. Bye-bye.
Night night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
baby.
darling.
Love you all.
Love you too. Hey, Kylie, but let me say, so you
Yes,
have
sir.
to understand the place that we grew up in. It was the bottom.
Yeah.
It was like it was the bottom. And if something happened at night, the cops didn't come out till the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had juke joints. We had juke joints on every other corner, sometimes 2 or 3 in between. It was a dry county. Everybody made moonshine. We had gambling houses and juke joints. And for my dad to come and put 3 churches all around this whole area, in an area that was like the bottom, you know, uh, it was straight out war. And I mean, he had a spiritual battle,
Yeah.
and the people didn't like that because he was conflicting with them being able to sell moonshine and keep their juke joints going. And my dad come in there preaching the gospel, and
And they practice witchcraft, Harold. Witchcraft.
right, hey, they put. I'm gonna tell you, we seen they put voodoo all up on. They put stuff all up under the pulpit, so that when he preaching, that
Oh.
he couldn't preach. They put stuff in his hats. So when he put his hat
Yeah.
on, you know, they trying to work this
He's
all this
trying to get
voodoo
rid of
stuff on.
him.
Yeah. But he didn't intimidate. He didn't intimidate easy. But my daddy was a man of means too, and he wasn't afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
So, and he would put his pistol on the pulpit and say, "Oh, y'all, I can't preach the hell out of you. I'll shoot the hell out of you." And that's how it was. It was straight up war. So it
Yeah.
wasn't only just war against him, but his kids.
Yeah.
We were threatened all the time because of who we were, you know.
Yeah.
And my life has been saved 2 or 3 times by guys just coming out and saving my life. I got
Yeah.
saved down at Weenan. I got saved by a guy that I seen him and another guy stand out in the street and draw guns on each other and shoot. And Butterhead got killed. But
Yeah. I know
Butterhead
Butterhead.
saved my life. Keep
Yeah.
one time Butterhead put me behind him and stabbed by 3 or 4 people trying to kill me.
Wow.
But that's the kind of place we grew up in, you know. So it was just dangerous. It was dangerous. We grew up in it, but our mama told us not to fear, not to be driven by fear. You know.
Yeah.
Unc, I really appreciate that. So like I know in all seriousness, like you guys are telling us the reallys, and occasionally we've been shaded or shielded from this as we growing up. But like and for the 2 preachers in the house, you know, that'll preach, like when you coming up from the bottom and you trying to bring people with you, and you trying to plant churches, like there is physical and spiritual warfare going
Now,
on,
Yeah.
saying
now think about
you
this,
messing with my program.
Khalid. Now think about this. Also, during that time was the Exodus, because everybody was leaving, going up north.
Right.
So when
Ooh,
somebody came
preach.
up north and got a job, they sent for their cousin, and they sent for their cousin, they sent for their cousin. So who was going to pay to build a church? You know, it was just like
Okay.
it was just like Assyria when they came in and they just
Mm-hmm.
left all of the people there. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have a, because you either went to college or you went to up north. You know, so it was a great
Mm-hmm.
exodus going on.
Or the
And
jail.
yeah, and I share with some of my colleagues right now. I learned to swim in the city creek. So, in other words, I learned to swim in the sewer,
Mm-hmm.
and
With
that's a true story.
snakes, with snakes in the creek.
With snakes,
Yeah,
yeah,
we run the snakes out the water so we can swim.
Wow.
yeah.
Snakes would go in and go under the bank, and we swim. As long as we was in the water, they wouldn't come out.
And every once in a
That's
while, you
with the
see
cottonmouth.
yeah, every once in a while you see a turd because it was the
Yeah.
sewer.
Ooh.
Oh,
That wasn't no turtle. That's a turd.
Yeah. And if we didn't swim there, we swam in the Muddy Duddy, and that was the
Yeah,
runoff from the oil refinery.
You call it the Muddy Duddy?
Yeah,
yeah.
Muddy Duddy.
Because
And
Wow.
the water was red.
yeah, and it came from up on the iron ore down off the mountain, but then it ran through the water, oil refinery, and you have a oil smell to the water.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
like
Paula told
gasoline or
me that
something.
that red stuff was good eating. That's what she said.
That's the dirt. Red dirt.
But that's what. But
Say it
that's
had
what we learned.
minerals
That's
in
what
it.
we learned to swim at.
No, really, they say it had mineral content in it.
Right.
And your daddy got cut, Khalid. Your daddy got cut
Yeah.
in the stomach.
When I was telling Gwen about swimming in the sewer, she said that's why you didn't catch the COVID.
You had already had all that in you.
She said you was a mule.
They can't no COVID kill me.
I had to COVID twice. And you ain't never caught it because you're swimming through them.
Well, it's when you done walk
Yeah,
through the
I heard about
shadow of death.
I heard about that thing with Uncle Coleman.
Yeah.
And Ralph and all that. I had to cut them guys up down there, and because of all of the violence that you all had to experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the police, Harry, you remember Mr. Red that lived up the street? I watched that man lay there for 6 hours and die. Because
Yeah.
remember he got stabbed with a pick, with a ice pick.
Uh-huh.
His son went to school with you. Charlie, what's his name? Charlie? Lived up the street on Snavely.
Yeah.
Mr. Red was his
Right.
daddy. He was at the owl joint. That man laid there. That guy stabbed him with a ice pick. They didn't come till late that evening to get that man.
Yeah.
Wow. That was at the delicatessen?
No, that was at the house where they gambled.
Delta's in the terminal too.
What?
It was?
That's at the juke
They
joint.
changed it?
At the juke joint. He laid out, they just throwed him outside in the backyard.
Wow.
Delta is moving to Terminal 1.
You'd be lucky if you got a cop the next day to come out for anything.
Yeah. They came out to collect their money. That's it.
Oh, they was shaking folks down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Man, that's rough. That was a rough environment. So how big was you all's neighborhood? What it put you in the mind of here in Detroit? Like square miles or square blocks? How big was the area?
3. Delta is moving to Terminal 1.
Harold, how big was the area?
I would say it would put you in the mind of maybe Southwest Detroit.
Okay.
Del Ray.
Okay.
Somewhere like that.
So it's about big as like Highland Park or something like that, but like area.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the west end side of Birmingham.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
You still had communities, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
like Black Bottom.
Oh yeah. Like Black Bottom.
Right. But yeah, we didn't, we we're still in the Birmingham city limits, but we didn't have like running water. We didn't have indoor toilets. We didn't have stuff like that. We didn't have storm drains or nothing like that.
So you had to build your own infrastructure.
Yeah, the water. Yeah, it took a long time for them to get all that infrastructure down there.
But I still remember we had party line a telephone.
Oh yeah.
You had to wait for somebody to get off the phone before you can use it.
Wow. Yeah, we did too.
You had to wait till your neighbor get off the phone.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
And
we
if
had
it wa-
advanced,
if
we
it
had
wasn't for-
advanced a little bit before that. But when we got running water, when we got running water, they stuck a spigot up in the backyard and had a faucet on it. So heat our water.
Yep.
So you had to run a hose from that to the house, or
hose? What was a hose?
Bucket.
Get that bucket and go out there and catch that water, take it in the house.
And boy, when you got remember we had that wooden stove.
Yeah,
had the tank on the side. When you started
heat the water up.
Yeah, you can run some hot water. Boy, you had hot water in the house. You rich, man.
Yeah.
So before you had running water, would you have a well?
Yeah.
A well. Okay.
Yeah, we had to have a well. We had outdoor toilets.
I remember we got the toilet inside.
Do you know if it hadn't been for Dad, we wouldn't have had diphtheria shots, polio shots?
No, he was leader in that. He's leader.
What was that? What was the other one, Gwen?
Polio.
We got our
tetanus.
vaccinations that way too.
Vaccinations, yeah.
Yeah, it was DDT,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Diphtheria.
And that was all done at his church. It was
okay.
lines of people, all of us getting our shots.
That's all right.
And that's because he had nurses in the congregation.
Yeah, Miss Barnes was a nurse, wasn't she?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We wouldn't have got any of that.
Development of that area, it had to come a long way because, like I said, it was just the bottom, and then nobody cared. But it was a mining camp. That's what it started off as.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It was a mining camp.
So they had just built some shanties. They had just built some shanties and had folks working in the mines.
Right.
Wow.
But I remember three things. I remember three advancements, from an ice box to a refrigerator to having a freezer in the delicatessen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Daddy had how many? He had a delicatessen. How many businesses did he have?
But he had a deep freezer in there.
Right.
Man, you got a deep freezer?
Right.
From
You
an
said
ice
that was an advance before the deep freezer, which had an ice box.
Yeah, because the ice man had to come around and you had to block of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when the
ice
ice
man
man
come
came,
down with
it said
around
there
the
you
old
block
truck.
of ice and you put it in the box.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what? It was a delicatessen and what else?
Cleaners and a flower shop.
Wow. Were they connected? They were all together?
Yeah.
Or?
The same building.
Okay.
It was in the back, in the back of it. And Mr. Nelson ran the flower shop.
Yep.
And the cleaners.
My daddy,
yeah.
my daddy and Uncle Frank, my dad and his brother, and Mr. Jackson, they built that whole building.
And the next adventure was
So how far was that from the house?
About 2 or 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. Because I used to be scared to go outside with their pots in the bed.
I was talking about Kid Frank.
Oh yeah, well,
fast it was advancing.
That's because somebody used to tell us them old wise tale talking about, oh, Miss Sally gonna come and pull you down in the toilet. You go sit on that toilet at night, she gonna come up through there and grab you, pull you down in there with her.
But you remember Miss
They had you scared to go take a shit at night.
But
Miss Sally, they say Miss Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember Miss Etty Smiler? She jumped inside of hers, and the fire truck had to come get out.
Yeah.
Oh no, she fell in the septic tank.
He jumped in there.
Hey,
not a septic tank. That's a toilet.
Why she
Outdoor
jump?
toilet.
Why did she jump in there?
No, she was crazy.
Oh, okay.
I just remember the fire truck with that little dog, that dog with the black and white spots on it.
The Dalmatian.
Oh, the Dalmatian.
It's coming to
The
get her out.
rescue dog.
To get her out.
Yeah, you fall in one, boy. You know, but I remember I was being pretty nice. We had one. I remember when we got the cement floor in ours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We had a cement floor in there, and I used to get scared and go down there. I would take me some newspaper, and I light me some newspaper and throw it down in there. You know,
make sure Miss Sally wasn't in there.
Yeah, I said, you can bring your ass up through here. I'm gonna light you up. Miss Sally died. She was a lady there down the street.
She lived next door.
Yeah. And
oh, she died.
Yeah, and they always tell me, well, her ghost was coming, gonna pull you down in the toilet. You know?
They used to always they thought Miss Sally was a witch.
Yeah. So they had you scared to go use the toilet that night, man. Shoot.
That's crazy.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
you doing, baby? Are you getting answers to all your questions?
I appreciate you, Aunt Gwen. No, so I got some wonderful follow-ups. First of all, so I know that you have Granddad's medical book,
Right.
and we can talk about what we might need to do to be able to digitize that. I understand that Aunt Paula's got a treasure trove of stuff, including my daddy's graduation diploma, but also Chasey's obituary and a couple of other things. So I may send over some of my cousins to come and help you organize and retrieve that. The stories are wonderful.
I don't need anybody to organize and retrieve it. I have it. I'll get that to you.
Okay, all right.
You said we were going to meet again in December, right?
Well, yes. So I wanted to try to do this sort of monthly and have a chance for everybody to get together and then have a larger participation. But with it as the group gets larger, it's going to be harder to bring everything together. But what I would like to have is for some of the younger people to get together and pull their questions together, and then for us to be able to ask y'all about things and be able to have this collective gathering of stuff. And Maurice, I want to talk to you because this is you have a structure and a framework. So I need your sermon from today so that I might listen to that and see what the Lord is telling me about how exactly we're supposed to get to where we're supposed to get, given this wealth of information and resources that we have here. So clearly, I'm grateful that you joined us and brought the vision together. Because all I knew was I was supposed to bring everybody together and let them talk.
Yeah,
I think that
today's sermon is on Facebook, and I did mention that if you watch to the end, I did mention in my commentary around remarks the 4 things that I want, the initiative that I wanted all those families to do. But we got
the family prayer, the review, the family tree. There was to talk about the family business, and and come up with a mantra for your family. Yeah. Right, those are your 4. Yeah. Okay.
So we've done all those except for the mantra. So we've kind of did an overview of the family tree. Mm-hmm. We of course we're gonna pray before we get out.
Yes, we are.
And then we talked about family business. We talked about daddy's businesses, delicatessen, flower shop, and
cleaners,
and the dry cleaners.
Well, also going to Meharry, teaching Uncle how to do electrician work and
herbologist, being an
fixing
herbologist.
stuff. Yeah, the herbology. So we know the bases of knowledge that is within the family and where they're coming from, the roots of them, and where they might all go and how they might manifest in the fruit.
Absolutely.
And we want to talk about Dad's travels. My father's travel. He loved to travel.
I would thank
we
you,
want
Auntie.
to talk about that.
He was a household name in Detroit. He preached at a number of churches up here. Spring Hill Baptist Church. I think New Bethel, where C.L. Franklin was.
Yeah.
Some other places. But yeah, he was a household name here in Detroit.
He also, one thing that he did was each summer he would take the children, he would go and pick up people's children and take them to their grandmothers and their
up
relatives
north.
Up north.
Okay.
Yeah. And now the last person that went to visit down there where grandmother lived was Frank and Paula and PJ.
Yeah.
Frank was the last someone to go down and actually talk to Chase's grandson, who I forget who was there at the time.
Uncle Pete.
Pete, yeah.
Yeah, Pete.
So
where was this? This was in Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me a list of names that was here in Cleveland, but I misplaced them.
So let me understand, Paul. I want to make sure it's right. So there's folks down in Alabama. They done sent their grandmothers or their mothers up to Detroit, and now Coleman Sr. is transporting now their children in the beginning or in the summertime, bringing them up so they can stay with their grandmothers for the summertime,
or their parents, because you got to remember we migrated up.
Does he have a
we
bus?
migrated up
like
here. He do it in his car.
This car he won in the sweepstakes.
Yeah, and many more. How many? Dad had about 5 or 6 cars, didn't
he? And what they call it jitney. He did jitney.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Jitney.
Oh, I always think of a jitney as just a taxi that's around town. You mean
he traveled. He went back and forth like to Kentucky, Tennessee.
Keep in mind, Khalid, when you travel like that, you couldn't stop nowhere.
Yeah, I've heard all the Green Book stuff, so I completely understand. Mm-hmm.
So you had to have a lot of wisdom. And then I noticed when my daddy would get out the car, he would get up, police that handshake thing.
Oh, that Mason handshake.
Yeah. So he said, no matter what, if being a Mason, if he was in distress, they had a signal that they give to let them know he was in distress. Somebody in the brotherhood would help him, no matter whether he was black or not.
Wow!
So he got by, through using Masons to maneuver himself around through places.
Johnny say he's going through security.
Hey, Jay, we love you, baby.
Okay, love you, baby.
Okay, thank you, Auntie. I love you, love you, love you.
Okay,
all right, Johnny.
Now, and then once we finish that, the jitney and the traveling,
Jay getting ready to get on the plane.
Yeah, because you're
okay.
I'll give you a full recap, out, bro.
Hey, Jay, we gotta talk, man. We'll recap, yo.
Hey, give Maggie's folks our love, man.
Yeah.
Happy baby.
Another thing was after when he would, you got to remember now, some of the parents would go to Detroit or whatever and work in the plants or whatever, and then their children would come up in the summertime.
Okay.
And then they would come back down south to go to school. And once we finish that, we're going to talk about how we migrated to Detroit. So we'll be talking about that.
Oh, this is good. This is good, Auntie. I love this because I know we all have that great migration story, but to have the context and what Granddad was doing, because again, this is this is literal like Exodus, right? This is some
Right.
put your baby in the reeds and send them floating up north and hope that Pharaoh's daughter gonna find them and catch them.
Yeah.
And some, so like, yeah, okay, like this I like right here. So
Okay.
this is some
Andy,
where
turn
does your
your
faith
phone
come
up a
from?
little bit.
How many times have you had to release your children and
I
pray that
think your
God's gonna
dad said
protect
turn
them?
your phone. What'd you say?
I tell Angela to hold her phone up a little bit. Okay. So
We
see your
see it.
face.
We got you, Mama. You look beautiful.
Okay, and we also went to New York too.
Yeah.
I can remember being in the tall structures. We used to sit out in New York City, and they would have those basket looking balconies, because it actually looked like a basket to me, didn't it, Gwen? The balconies, they were wrought iron, but they were you could actually see down. You could actually see down all the way down to the bottom of the
like on a fire escape.
yeah.
But the only
We
thing
used
I
to,
can
we
think
used to
of
sit out there. We used to sit out there.
On the
was
fire
when we
escape.
went up to the Empire State Building. But other than that, I don't remember sitting on the.
On the
We
fire escape, you know how the buildings would have fire escape on the
grandmother
side?
would let us go and sit out there. We would go sit out there, and you could look down all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember where we were, but I do remember the experience of being outside looking down.
Yeah, that was with grandma.
I still remember. I remember Uncle PJ talking about when they all first migrated to Detroit in the 40s. It was a housing shortage because so many people was coming at one time, and all of the white people hadn't evacuated to the suburbs yet.
Yeah, and most of the black people coming there moving to the east side.
Yeah. So they lived around 18th Street, around Woodland Avenue, all around there.
Yeah.
Near downtown. Yeah.
Oh, when they came to Detroit?
Yeah.
Yes. And they dressed up on Sundays too.
Yeah.
The ladies are always dressed up. Yeah, they all dressed up, and Auntie attended CME. Is that the CME church or AME church? AME.
Yeah.
And everybody knew about C.L. Franklin, so
yeah,
the people wanted to come up from down south, they gonna be looking to see C.L. Franklin,
Yeah.
Yes.
But you dressed up for the Lord. You didn't go to the Lord in everyday clothes.
Come Sunday. They call that come Sunday.
Come Sunday. Yeah.
Come Sunday.
Come Sunday, you show your best.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay. So it's 9:30. We've gone 2.5 hours. I don't want to tie y'all out because I want y'all to be excited about the next one. I am
Don't forget your mother and father's home, going to their home too. Going to their area, going to Tina's area. Westbury, Long Island, all the Long Island, when they migrated from the city. Okay.
So yes, all the folks that migrated to New York and stuff.
Yes.
So that was recall where I started this conversation was I wanted to hear the story about how everybody got out of Alabama and moved to Detroit and to New York, and how we bought houses, like just literally the Exodus story. Right.
Yes.
And, like each of us have one individually. I want to hear Uncle Harold's situation about why he had to take that midnight train and what brought that on. I know my daddy had a run in, and the dude was like, you must want to be swinging from a tree, and he said, okay, time for me to go, and so each of those things happened, but it affected the family. Like you were leaving people behind.
Don't forget Aunt Thelma and them when they left for Philadelphia.
Right, the English. When they left.
So
when they left, they left because Uncle PJ had to come down with his shotgun to escort Uncle and them out.
Wow.
See, I don't know that story, but I'm gonna make a note, Uncle Frank. So we gonna start with that one about Uncle PJ and leaving Philadelphia.
No, that was when
Your cousin
Uncle
Carolyn.
Van and Aunt Thelma left.
Oh, I'm
Birmingham.
sorry.
Okay, your
Yeah.
cousin Carolyn and Angela Davis
Yeah, they
were
have that
best.
information.
They were best friends, and so they have always been on the political side of fighting for our equal rights. And Angela Davis and Carolyn is still living and doing fine in New York. Matter of fact, she's just retiring. And she's
Oh yeah.
Coleman's age.
Oh, I love
Carolyn
Carol.
is,
My peoples.
yeah, Massaquoi.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and she and Angela Davis, I think to this day, is still very good friends.
Wow.
That's wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Van was an activist too.
Yes.
So he worked as a porter. He did.
Well, we will have Carolyn on next time, and I would love to have all of these conversations. I'll follow up and ask some clarifying questions because I still want to know some stuff about Jesse and Willie and the Sellers and Chasey and the song and stuff like that, and know where our lineage of being pastors and men of God really come from. So get Chasey's somebody taught her to love the Lord and she turned that into singing, but somebody taught her. So
Yes.
whether it was Jesse, whether it was Chasey, you know, there's a lineage that it comes by, and it's good for us to know kind of how that traces through our history.
Now, Daddy was a superintendent before he came up a pastor. At a young age, he was a superintendent at a church. At a young age.
Abyssinia.
Yeah.
He was at Abyssinia, yeah.
Okay.
That was
So
Abyssinia
Jackson.
in
New York?
Alabama.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
Abyssinia Baptist Church,
Okay.
Dr.
Okay.
L.R. Jackson. I remember him.
L.R. Jackson.
right. Now he was a superintendent. And
A
at a
superintendent,
age,
you mean like the sexton, like the dude that like sweeps the
Superintendent
floor,
of Sunday
carries the
school.
keys, and opens up everything, and
yeah, he was a Sunday school superintendent.
okay.
Mhm.
So he was like over the whole Sunday school.
So
Oh,
you
okay.
got to remember,
And he was
in
young. I mean, he was pretty young. So he was still, I mean, just early age. Because he started working in the mine when he was 15. So I probably about by 17, 18, he was some Sunday school superintendent.
and we're gonna get Angela's side of the family too.
Absolutely.
Angela Smith,
Yeah.
Well,
because
mom did her research.
it's
She got her stuff.
some wonderful things on Angela's side.
Okay, we yeah, mama knows her stuff. We done.
Yes. So all these brains together,
Mm-hmm.
God has allowed us to survive in some way, and
Okay.
he's asked us to forgive, and I've learned to forgive. It was
Okay.
hard, but I learned to forgive. And
Yeah, I think we all struggle with that.
Yeah.
It took me a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Carla said she's gonna join the next one, Khalid.
Okay. Yeah. See,
called
good. I'm gonna bring my peoples in because speaking of my lovely cousins, and
And
I
we'll
want to see them
talk
all on here.
about your dad also going through his forgiveness that we thought he shouldn't forgive, but he did. Everybody didn't want him to forgive. We didn't want to forgive. When he got cut, that was it. When my dad, when my
about
brother,
you getting cut. I gotta learn this story.
You don't
Okay.
know
all you gotta do is let him show you his scar.
He almost left
I've
her.
seen this guy. I knew he got cut when he was when he worked in the jail, and I knew he got his appendix out at
Oh
some
no,
point.
No,
he got
Oh, you got
stabbed.
stabbed when you was working in the store. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. Okay. I think
And he forgave the guy.
Oh wow.
And everybody we were saying, why you gonna forgive him?
Yeah.
Hey, that was one heart.
Okay.
I didn't want to do. I didn't want to forgive.
Because when Ralph Washington took me to the hospital because we didn't get an ambulance service, and they saved my life, and they told my daddy that I would never be able to walk again.
Wow.
Because the knife was so long, it had pierced my liver.
Part of his liver.
And my liver was bleeding, and they couldn't stop it from bleeding, and the nerves in it, and couldn't control my legs, and I couldn't walk. They told my dad that I would never be able to walk. My dad would say the devil is a liar.
Wow.
He came in the room, talked to me, and 3 or 4 or 5 days later, I think maybe they wouldn't let me get up. But 5 days later, they made a plastic insert, put my liver in so it would heal together. And then they took it out through a hole they made in my side. And they took that out about 5, must stay in the hospital about 10, 11 days. After that, I was up walking. They told me I would never walk.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Daddy said, that ain't possible. Devil's a liar. My son's walking.
Praise
God. When I got up, I got up, I walked. I've been walking ever since.
Awesome.
And we thought we would be all of us would be in the news when John came to Detroit, because when he came to Detroit, the first somebody said something to him, he was in the fight the first day. Wasn't he in the first?
Me and the white guy was out tussling. We used to just tussling and just like boxing and fighting around. John got out the car and wanted to kill the boy.
Wow.
Okay. See that?
That
I
was
know.
Nene was fighting
He just drove up. He just drove up. Just got out of the car from Alabama.
And well, he left Alabama because me and Mama both agreed, we can't handle this. Because I was there trying to help Mama after the death of Daddy with 5 babies still at home. And he went to the bus stop to walk Mama up to the bus stop. And the bus driver closed the door in Mama's face.
Right.
And
we didn't play that.
That boy almost took the bus off the wheels that it was on in the street. So he had to leave it. I said, no, you got to go. So he had to turn around and go back to Michigan. I assume that's when he came and jumped on whoever Harold was. He had to hurt somebody that day. Because he had to leave. Mama told him, you got to go. You got to go because they're going to come fight you.
But you know what? When they put us down in John Valley, and if I had to go on the school bus and whoop somebody's butt, I tell John, they said, you take your knife, you hold the bus driver so he don't take off. He can do anything. You put the knife, you hold the knife on him, or something to go back and whoop this white boy ass.
They were terrible.
And John put the knife around the neck to the bus driver, but not move till I got done. And so, we went through the bus boycott, all that kind of crazy stuff, you know.
And so I was just 18 when Daddy died. When Daddy died, Harold was 16. John,
Nene. I was 15. I hadn't turned 16 yet.
Yeah, right. Nene was 13. How old were you, Frank?
12.
Eleanor was 9, and Joseph had just turned 7. And here I was 18 trying to help Mama with them 5 children. Man, you talking about a mess.
But I taught Mama how to drive all over again.
Well, we came through it. We did well.
Yeah, I taught her how to drive. She hadn't even drove a car. Having them babies back to back to back, and Daddy just did everything, so she didn't have no reason to drive. Then he let her drive one time. She went down there and ran into Bruno's store.
I remember that. Lord bless her.
He was done when she ran that Cadillac into the wall. Daw, no, you didn't, Daw. What you do?
Did she get hurt?
She had to go get a drive. She had to take her driver's permit.
She didn't get hurt.
Those cars back in the day, you could run into anything, a brick wall. It wouldn't. The cars would stand up.
She was fine. The car was hurt, but she was
Better the car than her.
I know it.
Man.
And Angela, the store she ran into was owned by your ex-secretary's people.
Yeah, Bruno's down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Italian girl that used to be your secretary.
Yeah.
Anna Hocknall.
Yeah.
And this is in New York.
No, in Alabama.
No. She was my secretary in New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were her people that owned the store.
And we didn't know until we were just, discussing things, just, off the cuff and whatnot. And she mentioned a couple of streets and a couple of avenues, and I was like, Alabama?
Yeah.
Come to find out that y'all shared the garden behind the house.
Yeah.
And that's where her family came from when they came from Italy.
Yeah.
That's where they settled.
They lived up on Brook Highland. Was that
Brookhaven.
Brookhaven.
Yeah. Oh, she was good. She was good.
We played ball in the field.
Right.
Before we were planting the thing, we played ball.
But that was the separation between the black part of town and the white side of town.
Right.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh. But I didn't meet her until I worked for the
Cold Spring
Harbor School District, and we needed a secretary in the library, and she was one of them that. Hi, how you doing? Fine. Talk to you later. So she came for the job interview with 2 other women, and I selected her.
Wow.
Not knowing about her background. And it wasn't until we started talking that we realized that, wow, you're from Alabama, my husband's from Alabama. They started putting things together. We realized that they were back-to-back gardens to each other. I was like floored. Yeah, we're looking at each other like, is this
small world? Small world.
Yeah.
Their garden was adjacent to you all's garden?
Yeah. The backyards, had gardens, and the gardens butted against each other.
Wow.
Their house was on another street.
We were up the
and
Johnny gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the plane. John.
Well, Maurice, in one of those houses right behind us, his daddy loved pigeons and shooting birds and everything.
Yeah.
And he was up on top of these people's house, running after some squirrels or something, and fell through. And the folks was having dinner. He fell through on the dining room table. Do I have the story right, Harold?
Yeah. He was catching pigeons. He put them in his pigeon coop, and then he trained them.
Right. But did I tell the story right? He fell through the
Yeah. His foot went through the ceiling.
That's what we call it, a spook.
On the dining room table?
Yeah, they were eating them.
Wow.
Can you imagine this black boy falling? That's what we call him, spook.
Oh, no, I can't imagine.
But
Not on the table.
We used to have rock fights with the white boys up there on the hill, and we have rock fights. You know, down their side of town. We play ball too with them, and we get mad. Then we have a rock fight with them.
Rock battle.
To throw fights at them. And
We
I
call
used
them rock battle.
yeah, and I would throw a rock up in the air like this, lope one up in the air, and while they trying to dodge that one that's coming up in the air like this, I throw one straight at them.
Hi-yow.
It's like pow, got him.
Remember I
Got
said
him
you
every
had them rock
time.
battle?
They
You
were
stick
trying to
them
duck
up,
the one I
front
threw
of a
up in
rock.
the air like this, then I throw one straight at them.
No, I told you hit that boy with that rock.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's why we was able to do that.
Oh.
They were rough
But they
bunch.
would be
That's
back
all
out there playing the next day. The
Yeah.
next day they'd be out there playing.
Yeah. They get mad because we whoop their butt, man, playing ball.
Oh, they start throwing rocks.
Yeah, then we'll start fighting each other, throwing rocks. It's about rock fight.
And then we had them slingshots and them China berries.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, that hurt. Them Chanaberries hurt, boy.
That was the brand,
Yeah,
Chanaberry.
it was some
No, they
Chanaberries.
grow on a
the
tree.
They be green,
Oh.
and you put them in your slingshot, and you shoot them in your slingshot, man. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, they was like crab apples.
They were real small. They were like little round. They call them Chanaberries.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
They're
And
smaller than marbles. Yeah.
and when
They
they
like ball.
green,
They look like a ball bearing.
right?
Oh.
And man, them things would put a whoop on you, boy. I'm telling you, they do everything but go inside you. You know.
Wow.
But they were pretty tough. You had to
But
be
we used
tough.
but you notice we used to have them rock battles, but nobody would call the police or nothing like that. It was
No.
just what we did.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Good Lord. Okay, so
What Carly said, good Lord.
as long as y'all would like, but I want to make sure that I'm at least trying to honor and being timely, and we have gone to we closing on 3 hours. So like
Okay.
I will let y'all.
All right.
So it is Thanksgiving. I love y'all.
Love
and we had an amazing conversation. And since he has been given the word, I would love to ask Maurice to pray and to close out this portion. You may stay as long as you like. Y'all may talk long until y'all are weary. But I just want to make sure that we honor God for what He has brought us to and the vision laid out. And let's have Him pray us out, and then we can commence.
Absolutely. What I want to do is one thing that we did not do, and I just want to maybe 3 words that would summarize what our family stands for, what it stood for, what it stands for now. About 3 words that would characterize what our family stands for. Like if we don't have a formal mantra, but like 3 characteristics that our family would stand for. And that Coleman Mason Smith instilled in all of you. 3 things.
God's grace.
God's grace.
God's grace.
God's grace.
The world could be on fire, but grace will bring you home.
Hallelujah. So grace, God's grace. Anything else? God's grace.
That sums it for me.
Yeah.
God's grace.
Love.
What's love doing? I can't see
Loving your
him.
neighbors.
He's
all right?
eating. He's eating.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you eat?
Pickle.
I have to make sure he's well.
He
I didn't know whether
he
he
had a
fell
few
out
items. He's had a few items since we've been on the.
Yes, he said a lot, Angela.
Even when they said you couldn't make it, God's grace.
Okay, God. Well, you know what? That'll do it. God's grace.
God's grace.
Love. God's grace. I heard love. God's grace.
Yes, love is one.
And I think love fits Daddy because he was married to Edith Smith, if I had this right, for 10 years, and she didn't want no children. And that marriage didn't work, and he married Mama and had 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at
And
that.
they were married 10 years with no children. I don't know how she was married to my dad and they have no babies. You know what I'm saying?
But I met Edith.
It must have been nothing he wasn't doing.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
met
cause
Edith.
every night he's led the men apologies because he go to bed, then he's go, "Da," and then she said, "I'm coming, Coleman," and then about 20 minutes later, he go, "Da," and she said, "Mama doing everything she can not to go in that bedroom."
So if he was married to a woman for 10 years and they didn't have no babies, I'm sure it wasn't something he wasn't doing.
Right.
But listen, Edith came and stayed with us. What, about a week? When was it about a week she stayed
I
with us?
remember her staying, but I remember her coming to the house.
She
When was
came.
that?
Edith came to the house, and she said she told us that even though she told us that she left Dad because he wanted children and she didn't want any children, and she didn't want to be married to a minister.
Oh, okay.
And she said, I don't know why I said that, because the next person she married was a minister. He became a minister.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So,
But she did come to the house.
I remember her
that's
coming to the house.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So keeping in time
So I was gonna say love. You said love,
for love,
God's grace, and
God's
I'm
grace.
gonna say forgiveness.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's powerful. Love, God's grace, and forgiveness.
Yes.
That's powerful. So I'm gonna go ahead and defer to my Uncle Frank to pray us out, and then we'll follow your lead for the next time we meet, Khalid. And love everybody, and take us out.
Look at him.
Dear Lord, we thank you tonight, realizing that this assignment was confirmed in you even before we had our gender assignments. You decided this union was going to occur. And now, as we realize the manifestation, we thank you, because we realize you said that Abraham, when Levi was in Abraham, he paid a tithe and received tithe yet 500 years before he was born, which means that everybody between them had the same experience. Now, Father, we take your model in Jesus Christ as the pattern son, seeing how you bring this family together.
Oh, yeah.
In the spirit of oneness that we learned from even the ants yesterday.
Thank you, Lord.
That when they locked their legs together and became one unit, they became a floating raft. And you're teaching us that as Jesus walked on water, we can walk on water as one man when we all assemble together. And you taught us that simple lesson, even in the ants, as you did King Solomon. With your mind in us, we thank you tonight.
Thank you, Lord.
For what's represented in our fathers. And we won't have to look back and say we are in this condition because our fathers did not love and did not obey you. But we can look back and say we are in this position because our fathers did.
Yes,
Lord. Love, forgiveness, those mantras that we just discussed. Let them carry us as one family and ultimately as one man, that we be able to walk on water, even in the storms of life. That our offspring come together and say, those who came before me, they walked on water in the storm as one family.
My Lord.
So we thank you for your mercy. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. God. Amen. Love everybody.
Yeah.
Bless you.
All
And
right.
God bless you, man, for
The
being
ants,
obedient to God.
the ants know how to create. The ants know how to create a floating raft.
Hey, Carly, Grandma,
Love you, Reese.
Auntie
Love
Gwen
y'all.
gonna have to go get her sleep.
All right.
Okay.
And see you
Yeah,
over there, Mama.
we talked enough. tonight.
Okay, all
And
right,
little
good.
juice.
I'm glad y'all had your fill. Like y'all,
What
y'all
you
Okay.
say, Harold?
take your
Huh?
love, blood,
What
and
you
grace,
say,
and go
Harold?
ahead and cook y'all some turkey and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amen.
happy
Amen.
Thanksgiving,
Love,
everyone.
grace, and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as we
Okay.
create a living raft, we can float through any storm.
That's right.
Amen.
Right.
Praise the
Amen.
As
Lord.
those before us did.
And we're still here.
That's
That's
Still
right.
right.
here.
We're still
Glory.
here.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
still here.
Angela, we
Glory.
still here, Angela.
We are still here.
Yeah, well, you know,
Goodbye,
Amen.
baby.
now y'all,
Bye
y'all
I,
bye.
sing,
I know my family.
Hey,
We
have
be
some
together
heaven
all
on your
night.
minds. All right.
Okay.
Love
Paula, we
everybody.
see you. You look like you looking over the fence.
Who? Where? Who's looking over a fence?
You look
Thank
like
you.
Mr. Wilson looking over the fence.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
talking about Paula.
Who's that?
He's saying that he only can see
Okay.
the top
I
of Paula's head.
love you guys.
Love
Bye,
Oh,
guys.
too,
My
Yeah.
phone is
okay.
Okay.
dying, y'all.
Love you, Auntie.
All
Love you
right.
back.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Love you back.
Thank you
Okay.
all for
Good night.
joining. Okay.
Good
All right.
night,
Tell a friend.
everybody.
All right.
Mwah.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
Good night.
everybody.
Good
All
night.
right,
Good
bye.
night.
All right.
Good night.
Who ain't home? Malama Pono.
Long time.
Hey, amen. Okay, I'm gonna
Amen.
I'm
wipe
leaving.
up
I'm
now.
going through the door.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Aloha.
now.
All right. Love you, Reese. Thank you for
All
joining,
right.
man.
I love you
Appreciate it.
too,
Thank
cuz.
you,
All right.
Reese.
All right. Love
Love you,
y'all.
Uncle Frank.
Next
Bye
Thank
month,
bye.
you. Thank
everybody.
you.
All right.
All right. Uncle Harold, man, you love you to death, man. Love you to death.
Love you too, brother, man.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Glory.
I know all things gonna work for the good.
Yes, sir. And all
Oh,
things
the blood of the
is
Lord.
is
The blood of the
already
Lord
done. It's already done.
work for the good.
I can't make a misstep. He already done it.
Come on, bro.
Good night, y'all.
God bless you. Y'all enjoy y'all day, love,
I
Angela.
love you, Mama.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
nice seeing
All
your
right.
All right.
smiling face. Got your little like. I appreciate that y'all was looking good. Y'all had short notice that we was jumping on here, and y'all came looking pretty. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I'm
Y'all
glad
stay-
Paula woke me up because I was asleep, man. I was out. I
Okay.
didn't even know I
Hey.
was in Michigan.
Yeah, that ride, that flying back and forth, man, be messing you up.
I know it,
Man.
brother. I'm telling you, I'm fighting it too, man. And you fight it so long, but that's all you got to give it up.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
peace out.
All right. Oh boy. All right. All right. So I
Yep.
love y'all parents. It's wonderful to see y'all. You look well. So I don't have any announcements to make, but I'm gonna let y'all know soon when I'm gonna be out there to see y'all next. So
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I just got back, a couple minutes before this call from New York. I was at my 30th high school reunion. And
Oh,
saw
oh,
everybody.
Harbor Fields?
Yeah, I was at Harbor Fields this morning. So
Holy mackerel.
mhm.
30th reunion?
Yeah, apparently I graduated from high school 30 years ago.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's unreal. You're
Yeah.
not that old.
I'm clearly not, but some of them are, but not me. So yeah, that's just
A lot of people still there in the neighborhood or came back for the reunion?
Yeah, we had about 40-ish people there, and it was good. It was solid. Like there was a lot of people that I wanted to see, and I'm the pre-parties and the after parties are all we all slept over Amy Sleer's house, and it was me and Coy and Emily Yee and Elizabeth Rogus and Shivers, and we had a really good. Yeah, so all the people I went to kindergarten with,
That's nice.
yeah.
That's nice.
So we all we spent the day. Emily came and picked me up, and we drove up, and so I had 5 hours with her, going up and 5 hours coming back.
Oh, Emily Yee.
Yeah, man, that's my heart. I love that girl. So, mhm. So yeah, we had a really good time. So, but anyway, so I was I was a little worried about this because I was gone. I hadn't done as much like sending out reminders to people and stuff like that. But it all worked out. So I was just like, I prayed on it, was like, God help me. Like,
Well,
I
you know
tried.
what? The best part is everybody was just telling their story
Yeah, yeah. It
as
was.
only they can.
Mhm.
So that you really didn't have anything to do but orchestrate. They were
Yeah,
singing.
like I'm trying to take myself out of it and just be like, if I'm just obedient and set up the call and bring everybody together and ask some questions, and now I just gotta talk to some of my generation and have them also just ask some questions and then have their inputs be part of it, and then like we'll just get on and listen and let y'all talk. Uh, and see what stories we want and and I just want to like clearly there's lots and lots and lots of stories. So once y'all get going, then it's just it's a matter of getting the stories out, but then also always coming back to the thread that runs through it, which is we want to understand really what God has done for the family. We want to understand where our faith has come from, like that. I've heard the story of you getting stabbed in the store before, Dad, but I've never experienced it from that perspective of
Life or death.
there was no that there was a diagnosis that said this is what it was going to be, and your father's immediate response was the devil's a liar, and that's not what's going to happen. That's not what I've been promised. That's straight out of that's some Hezekiah stuff. When the prophet said, you're not going to get out of this bed, you're going to die, and he said, oh no, no, and he turned and just said to God, like I have kept your word. I've honored your statutes, and you've honored me, and this is not how my story ends. And God was like, you know what, you're right, and then told the prophet, go back and tell him I'm gonna put 15 more years on his life.
Yeah.
So there's a clear history and message of
Look how many more he put on my life.
He gave you a couple, and so every time you get that near miss, then it's like he don't do it for no reason. So there's a purpose behind it. So you got to be like, what's you? I'm here. I am. Send me.
Heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right. So I love y'all. I'm glad to see that y'all got on the call and that you're doing well. So come out there and see about y'all over the holidays. So get that under control.
Okay.
Over Christmas?
Yep.
All right.
Doing some work. Let me get all that straight so I can make sure I'm doing that.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This has really been nice.
Good. I'm really glad. So and Mom, yeah, we gotta talk all this. Like I know there's a lot of new information, and you are the keeper of the genealogy and the books and the pictures and stuff. And so I was surprised to see stuff popping up that you weren't aware of. People saying they got obituaries and documentation and stuff that you haven't squeezed out of them yet. But
it's not a matter of squeezing out. I've never asked for anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't know what was in their resources and if they had any resources. What happened? You okay?
Yeah.
Khalid, you there?
I'm fine. I'm here.
Oh, okay. And the things that they had to document certain periods or achievements, I've never asked for. That was going that was that wasn't anything that I thought to even ask about.
Mm.
You know, so it was, and mine was more or less trying to give me a perspective from my life. You know, my marrying love and what were his parents all about. And I haven't got beyond that. You know, his siblings or his aunts and uncles, I think I was staying kind of close to direct lines.
Okay.
Because, you know, so much can be gathered and you'll never, ever be finished. Genealogy
Yeah.
goes on forever. You know,
Well,
and having that much time to, I wanted to affix my family lines. And that was my goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can always call Gwen and say, you know, tell me about your daddy's cousin, and if that need be.
Okay.
But what's nice is that, you know, if everybody has a section, everybody can really contribute to a genealogical history that comes from many sources instead of one. That's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna teach
know?
everybody. So, you know,
And there's Xerox machines now. We can Xerox all
yeah.
diplomas and whatnot to show that, you know, granddaddy, you know, did this and that and the other. You know, that's cool. I'd never thought of that. I always tried to stick to getting as far back as I could with just the two immediate families.
Mm-hmm.
But this with all these people, it's going to be awesome to hear what everybody got to present.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed today. This was really nice.
Yay. I'm glad, Mama. It makes me
really nice.
I'm-
It kind of like helped me out here as far as presenting other things that are just as honorably put. This is something else I wanted to say.
Okay. Take your
I'll
time.
have to. When's the next meeting? When, or
Well,
if you don't have a date, about when? Is it like, is this once a month
yeah, I
or?
mean, so yeah, so my plan was to set one of these up once a month. And I'm going to ask in advance. So this one I planned about 3 weeks ago, and I just said I gave people a couple of options for dates because of Thanksgiving. And said, you know, I don't want to plan it the week of Thanksgiving because people may have a lot of stuff to do. And we'll do the same thing around Christmas. So I'll look and see when Christmas falls and see whether we want to do it maybe the Sunday before Christmas or the Sunday after Christmas, and which one works for folks. But it's honestly like this was the first one, and like I wanted you guys to have the experience because you guys are the core, right? And then as we get better at this, then I can have more of an audience here. But like I can have a whole lot of people from my generation, but they're going to come just to listen, right? And then maybe we'll jump on a different call and ask about questions and stuff like that and put stuff together and what do we do with this and how do we do this stuff. But like I wanted to have a forum where first we can start, and I'm a follow up with Maurice because like there's a spiritual component to this. And I talked to Uncle Frank about it already, but I didn't talk to Maurice, and so it's great to have him too, and I want to rope him in. And I talked to Kalia, and I talked to Kenny, and I talked to Uncle Harold about this, and I couldn't get Uncle Joe on the line, but I talked to him at length about this as well. And I'm actually really sad that he wasn't here to hear all of this. So I'm going to make sure I give him access to the recording, and And
you have a recording of today?
yeah, this is still recording, so I'm about to stop it in a second. In fact,
Okay.
I'll stop it right now. But I wanted to make sure you said the thing that you were trying to say. So I was just giving you a moment.
Well, that's
Mm.
nice.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to document things, try to get you guys to get on board and share what it is that you'd like to say, and then we can start pulling together some documentation and making some progress, because there's a lot for us to be to learn. So, Dad, I
Yep.
wanted to ask. So I'm here. Like the other day, I was walking home. I was in Washington D.C. at a conference. Oh man, Uncle Joe just said, "I hate that I missed the meeting." uh,
We were just talking about that. You still there?
yeah. I'm just letting him know I recorded it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a Masonic, the national like Masonic temple is here in DC. And
Uh-huh.
I was walking by it the other day. I don't know if you can go in there and get records and see. I don't know if it's private, like it's not a very open organization. So I didn't just like walk up in there and say, let me see if I can step up in there and just ask
You can
somebody.
ask and they will oblige you.
They'll tell me about Coleman Mason
Yep.
and whether or not he is a 33rd degree.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
And Uncle Clarence also.
I know Uncle Clarence was, and he had asked me about being part of a Mason, and I was just in high school, going into college, or no, I was living in Baltimore. That's what it was, because he was big in the Maryland area. That's where he had done his masonry and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And but I never, he couldn't quite explain it to me, or he didn't, the way that he explained it to me, I didn't understand sort of the benefit of it,
Uh-huh.
what it was. And I'm still, honestly, there's a lot of like uh cloudiness about what type of organization the Masons actually are, right?
Uh-huh.
And whether it is like, whether there is a conflict between the church and the organizations like.
No, there's no conflict. It is a way out of darkness.
Okay.
It teaches enlightenment. I gave the picture to your brother, my brother Frank.
Okay.
The traveling picture. My brother Frank has it.
Okay.
And what he should do is take a picture of the picture, and so you can put it
What is the
in your.
traveling picture? You mean the picture of Dad with the car?
No. The picture of the way out of darkness, the structure that leads into masonry. Did you understand me?
I heard the words that you said. I don't quite know what it means.
It is a copy of the travels that one must inherit or to interpret it in order to travel the road of becoming a Mason.
Mm-hmm.
And this picture has the route that you travel.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank should give you a picture of it, and then you should get a learned individual to explain to you the route or the meaning of the way from darkness to light.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. They're like, masonry is it is it has a long history, longer than ours. It goes back to the, 14, 1500s, and it has been banned by, the Catholic Church. They've had wars over stuff, and like, so that it has a very interesting history. And and it's also secretive, so you can't just ask a Mason, tell me all about Masonry, right? So there's some challenges there, but I understand the benefits of it. But like, my thing is really understanding what has influenced our history, and what has, both positively and negatively, what trials has God brought us through, and what might we have done in the midst of those trials that we weren't necessarily proud of, that we need to repent for, right? And how does that affect, our bloodline and our lineage moving forward?
Knowledge is power.
Okay.
And when you adhere and you get the correct knowledge and the correct interpretation from somebody with the knowledge, then understanding comes as a part of that learning process.
Okay. Whew. Yeah, so there's a bunch, but I'm more than happy with what we did today, and this was awesome. So I'm glad and grateful for your lovely brothers and sisters. And it appears that next time we'll have Joe available to us as well. I would like him to hear some of this stuff. And so and that'll bring everybody, with the exception of Tina and Eleanor.
Into the round table.
Yeah, so we can have all that conversation, and yeah, there's and then when we add the Davises and Aunt Lena, we can have more conversation around context of where all this stuff is coming from. But I'm interested in exploring Chasey's line before we go and diverge in another direction. So this sounds really good. So I'm excited about where we're going.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
are you well, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get some few financial things in order. I need to buy a car.
Oh man. Okay. All right. I hear you. All right. So I owe you some follow-ups on the financial thing. So okay. So let's do that, because is your car on the fritz now? Are you in
Yeah, well, either I have to spend a lot of money to try to keep it for a few more, or I need to go, and me and your mother talked about yesterday about selling all of them, getting rid of all, and getting one car.
I hear you. So that makes sense. What I'm asking you is like, what do you need to do like immediately? Because there may be a temporary solution that we can get, whether it's Ubers or whether it's like,
No, I don't want to do none of that. What I want to do is, I was trying to wait till the prime rate go down before I go and sign on the dotted line to get a car. And that's what I'm waiting for now. And I figure around the 1st of December, middle of December, the rate will drop and the loan rate will be good enough for me to go out and sign on the dotted line.
Wow. Okay. I hear you. Okay. No, I hear you. Okay.
Don't you worry your little head about it.
Right.
I still know how to stick up.
Yeah. Well, you don't run as fast as you used to. That's the problem.
I don't have to now. I know how to get away.
I mean, you're gonna be sticking up. You gotta think about you 3 steps ahead. So,
No, that ain't crossed my mind yet, Bar.
okay.
All right,
Um,
man. You take care of yourself.
I
wait a
will.
minute. Wait,
Yep.
wait. Excuse me.
What?
Love,
You.
will you please tell Khalid about the condition that Kitwan has? Maybe he knows something in his medicinal travels that'll be good for him. I don't know if I can get him to a doctor.
Oh,
He doesn't.
he's got one of them little information in on the side of his testicles where men usually get if they got an infection somewhere. You get this little lump next to your groin. And
but it's above. It's
above
like
his groin.
it's like the
in his
it's
side,
like the bottom of the intestines of even.
Okay. Like an appendicitis or like a torsion.
No. I've had a few of in my line. I've had a few infection that it was that happened, and you get this little knot that shows you got an infection somewhere in your body.
Okay. So you have a systemic infection somewhere, and then you get a knot in your lower abdomen.
Right.
But is it on his testicles, or is it like
above your? No, it's above your testicles, above your groin.
It's like in the hairline before you get to the testicles.
So it's like a lymph node almost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, lymph node, Khalid. Now
It
I had
shows
one.
as a
I had
bulge.
one about 9 months ago, and it was on my testicles, but I had the testicle removed in December 23.
But it's not on the testicles now. It's up higher. I have to give him an image of what I saw.
Did you take a picture?
No, but that might be a good idea. Let me do that. Let me see him tomorrow, and I'll see if he'll let me take a picture.
Okay. Is it like in the crease between his leg and his body?
Yes.
It's the lower part of the trunk of the body before it gets to
the testicles.
The testicles or the penis. It's
so where your upper thigh meets your pelvis.
Right.
Yes.
Like right along that bikini line.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And it's a bulge.
Yeah, okay. Those are lymph nodes, right? So and a swelling. Is it just one or is it a series?
It's one that's maybe half a Frankfurter long.
Oh, really? It's like 6 inches long?
No. I would say about 3.
About 3
but
inches
it's a definite bulge. A long, not long. From side, it's going from side to side. It's not up and down.
It's not vertical, it's horizontal? Or is it diagonal?
Yes, it's horizontal. Right before you get to the groin area. You know, it's a bulge. It's maybe 3 inches long, and it's a bulge.
I've had that. But that means that he's got an infection somewhere, and it's recognizing in his lymph gland there that he has some sort of infection.
My fear is he won't let us take him to a hospital or the emergency room. You there? Oh, yeah, you want to think about it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, so I think a next step would be, if he'll let you take a picture.
Yes.
if it's vertical like that, or it's horizontal, that doesn't
Yes, it's
seem
horizontal.
it doesn't seem like a lymph node. That seems closer to like a hernia, right? Like a inguinal hernia, right? So like
I'm
if
not familiar with hernias.
yeah, like if you push it, does it go in? Is it
I don't.
painful swelling, or like can he if you push it in, can he push it back inside and it pops back out?
He
That would
didn't
be a
show it to me.
sphenial
He
hernia.
didn't. You could see the swell itself. He wasn't pushing it back in and it popping back out. He just showed it to me.
Okay.
We didn't try to manipulate it any.
Okay. So I mean it could be an abscess, it could be, it could be a type of hernia. There's a inguinal hernia and there's a femoral hernia. Um, so it occurs where the femoral artery passes into the thigh, and it happens right in that area. It could be a lymph node. Um, so like yeah, there's I would guess, hernia first, but like what didn't you have a doctor who used to come out and see Kitwan when he was like who would see him in the field, as it were?
He moved.
He moved to the Big Island.
Okay. But could you call him?
I don't know where he moved to. I just figured, he's gone.
What's his name?
It's been years. I really I can find out. I can find out because Crystal knows him also.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I was just thinking if
Crystal.
it
Yeah, ask Crystal
sounded
like to help you Google him and like just call him and ask him, hey, can I send you some pictures? Can I FaceTime you when I go see my son? Can you help me diagnose what this is?
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
he may, like, they do telehealth appointments. That's a thing, right? So like you may be able to just Zoom in with him and he can take a look at whatever is going on with Kitwan and give him a diagnosis.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right.
Okay. I will call Crystal and she will help me zoom it in.
Okay.
And she'll remember his name.
Yes, she'll remember his
name.
Yes.
Okay. That's okay. I'm on it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Oh, thanks a lot, Booby.
I love you.
I love you
All right.
too. Now get some rest. All right.
All right. I'm doing my best.
Okie dokie. All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Daddy.
Bye bye, son.
All right.